My dear friends, Jesus, marvelous. Why are Christians able to stand at Speaker's Corner and preach about Jesus and stand our ground week in, week out, month in, month out, unlike the Muslim Dawa Mafia ringleaders? It is because Jesus is honorable. Jesus did not come to the illiterates and deceive them with illiteracy and teach them to be worse than the illiterates, i.e. become parrots by reciting some junk. That's not what Jesus did. What did Jesus do? Jesus said, ask, seek, knock. To the one who asks, more will be given. To the one who knocks, doors would be open. To the one who seeks, they will find. Jesus, marvelously, one of the wisest persons, unlike Muhammad, who was clearly an illiterate man, therefore this gibberish nonsense in your hands. Unlike him, the precious Lord Jesus, he gave, he raised, he didn't even have to write anything. He taught his disciples, and his disciples have produced works which are some of the best translated, best circulated, best read books of world history. My dear friends, as the printing press was introduced in the 16th century, as Renaissance happened in the 16th century, one of the first books which was published and published in a mass level was the Bible. Why was that the case? It is because unlike Islam, which is for illiterates even today, the Bible is for those who want to be knowledgeable, who want to deal with sense, who want to deal with literacy. Jesus was one of the wisest to walk on the face of the earth. People might have heard of parables. And if you inquire history and ask who made use of parables in a masterful way in history, it was Jesus. Masterful. The number of parables he gave with hidden deep meanings. And you dig deeper, what appears to be a very simple parable, you find more and more insight. Who came up with these marvelous parables? Not Muhammad, but Jesus.
Muhammad is Allah. You know that?
I understand. Muhammad leads to brain damage. I completely understand.
And he's got
So Muhammad,
on his face.
while Muhammad gave a religion for the illiterates, Jesus is a marvelous man. Think about the Sermon on the Mount. One of the best,
That's Allah.
excuse me my dear friend, please take one. One of the best orations in world history. Some of the best were from Winston Churchill. We shall fight them in the beaches. We shall fight, an ability to mobilize an entire nation from down under to fight against the evil, the little evil, like the big evil called Islam, which is Nazism. Winston Churchill, marvelous orator. Like him, we can think about Martin Luther King. Think about the oration. My dear friends, great orators, but I would suggest to all of us that the undisputed leader of oration goes to Jesus, the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus, quite early on in his ministry, he said, blessed are those who are meek. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Blessed are those who are peacemakers. They shall be called the children of God. Blessed are those when they hate you for my name's sake, because yours is the kingdom of heaven. And he went on. The best the world has ever seen, not from Muhammad, that's the exact opposite, junk. But the best comes from Jesus. And this is exactly why I am a Christian. I am a Christian because Jesus makes people honorable. Jesus makes regular mortal human beings and educates them, convicts them deep within of sin, of our own failings, and make us go there in righteousness to be with him. Jesus makes us honorable. And this is why he went to the cross. He went to the cross to lay down his life for me and for others. Why did Jesus go to the cross? Once he had people who understood what sin was. Once we put our hands up and we say, Jesus, please help, so that he could be helpful. Jesus went to the cross to lay down his life for us, to shed his blood, to purify me, to purify you. That through the blood shed by Jesus, we could be made holy before God. That is Jesus. And that is why I am a Christian, my dear friends. And this is exactly why I would like all of you to become Christians, particularly, look at him, particularly if you're having a brain damage, having read the Quran for a long time in your life, it's time to wake up. The Bible leads people to become doctors. The Bible leads people to set up missionary hospitals. But Islam, on the other hand, leads to a permanent or almost permanent brain damage.